Welcome back to Amy and we're a bookish podcast. Today I'm here with, oh wait, hang on. Where's our host?
What? Is she running late? It's not
Is she
even
running
Amy
late?
and
Maybe that's
without
not like
Amy.
her. For
We
those
will
of you
never
following,
find the body.
for those of you who have been following along with us this month, you'll know that Amy is away on vacation this month, and so the podcast has been taken over by the and. So
Mm,
tonight, I'm here with Justina Ashman.
Hello.
Thank you. Remember audio. Peyton Hogan,
Hi.
Abby Guy,
Hey.
and Harry Stewart.
Hi.
And today we are talking about Amy Barry's newest book, Seven Brides for Beau Mcbride. We're all
Yeah.
very excited because Amy is absolutely terrible at talking about herself and her books. So
Wow,
now we
not
get
where I
to
thought
do
you
it
were
while
going.
she's not in the room and we get to let loose.
Yeah.
So
And it's
let's,
all bad. No.
that's right. All terrible. No.
I feel like she would be so much less worried about hearing criticism in person from us versus praise.
Versus
It's
completely
true.
agree.
It's
Honestly.
absolutely true. So let's do this thing right. Let's get a bio for the author, Amy Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mhm.
I
Let's all
have.
turn to the back of our books.
Peyton.
Should we mention what the book that we're talking about today?
I did mention the book.
Did you? Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is just proving that I'm distracted. I'm putting up the link on the Instagram just so everyone who
We're lost without her. We
doesn't
really are.
yeah.
Chaos.
Chaos already. Anyway,
That's right. I feel like everyone knows who Amy is, but in case you don't for some reason and you're listening, here's a short bio on Amy.
Okay, that's my cue. Got it. Amy Barry writes sweeping historical stories about love. She's fascinated with the landscapes of the American West and their complex long history, and she's even more fascinated with people in all their weird, tangled glory. Amy also writes under names Amy Matthews and Tess Lassoed and is senior lecturer in creative writing at Flinders University in Australia. No longer senior lecturer and actually associate professor.
Yes, I
That's
did wonder. I was
right.
like, old bio.
Profesh. Shall I read the blurb? Shall I read the
Please.
blurb at the back of the book?
What's the book about?
Do I do it in my old
Yes.
West?
Absolutely.
Please do.
Because I'm wearing these headphones, I can't even really hear myself that clearly. So
Great.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Even better.
Okay, so just imagine like ooh, 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 you know, Beau Mcbride wants a wife, and his meddling little sister Junebug is itching to find him a mail order bride. But why stop at just one? Beau Mcbride reckons he's ready for marriage. His ego is bigger than his brain, though, and his little sister Junebug can't trust him to find the right woman. So they make a bet, but place an ad in the matrimonial news for mail order brides. Is this working? Do I just
Loving it. Loving it.
Keep going.
You're too far in now.
It's such a long blurb. We're
I
gonna be here
know.
for 5
And I don't
hours.
think you realized that, did you?
I'm willing to give you grace and allow you to read the rest in a regular voice if you would like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a different accent of your choice.
Oh, okay. But when she discovers that Beau has already made his pick, Junebug decides to even the odds by inviting 6 more brides to meet her brother. Ellie, no. Okay, another accent.
Cockney.
I could try and do a New York accent, but
Do it.
Did you
would
do
really bad.
Scottish? Do you think
Oh.
you have a Shrek voice in you?
Ellen Neal doesn't expect much from life, and life hasn't given her much except a head full of dangers and a beautiful best friend, Diana. And now Diana has answered an ad to be a mail order bride. And with some onions have layers with some letter writing help.
Doesn't say that in the blurb.
Yeah, this is just Shrek fan fiction, didn't you know?
hmm
Oh my god.
He's technically a backwoodsman if you think about it.
Oh my god. Wait,
Whoa.
we're gonna get distracted.
Hold on, we can't get into that yet. Finish the blurb.
Finish the
And
blurb.
she's leaving for Montana. Unwilling to lose her only friend, Ellie answers an ad of her own, which will take her to the same town Diana is headed for. But there's a hitch. When they arrive, Ellie and Diana realize they're here for the same husband, along with 5 other women. With 7 brides now vying for Beau's attention, he needs to make a decision. Fast. The only problem is his heart longs for the one woman who wants nothing to do with him.
Oh my God.
Well done. I had to mute myself because I was laughing so hard.
It's so fucked up.
On my end, it's silent. So I was reading and I had no idea if it...
We were all losing it. We were all
We were
losing it.
losing it on the screen, but you won't be able to hear it.
You look up from the blurb of the book and you just see we've all gone. You can't.
We were
see
all
that.
half. We were
just
all
like,
half
okay.
out. Yeah.
I
like
really
crickets.
feel like this has set the tone for how a book club without Amy present is going to go.
Oh,
I
God.
realized I'm not wearing
Definitely.
my cowboy hat. I'm tempted to go to my room and fetch it.
And fetch it. Wow, she's speaking
That's
too.
true. We did all sort of talk about having a little bit of a cowboy theme, but it's very cold here, so we all kind of prioritize being warm because we have to sit here for an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
But some
We
of us
have
do
to
have
sit here
our.
for an hour.
We have to sit for an
I
hour.
love that. We have
I
to
just
sit.
meant more that we have to sit. We have to be stationary for an hour, which doesn't help. But we do have some of us have our cowboy themed drinks. If Abby would like to demonstrate. For those listening,
Yes.
Abby is holding up the cutest bottle of Bailey's I've
I
ever
was
seen.
about to
It's
say.
so adorable.
And
My
a
travel
bottle
bottle.
of the travel bottle and a bottle of butterscotch snaps, which is how you
Yeah.
make a cowboy cocksucker.
I'm going to make one right now. Normally we do a cocktail, which you can do a cocktail version of this, which is pretty much they just tell you to add milk, and it becomes
just-
a cocktail and just
You
put
just
it in a cocktail
quadruple the
glass.
quantity of everything.
But this is a shot, so I will be doing a shot now live.
We were never going to be
you-
monetized. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sip it, but what's the point of that
Right.
with a shot, right?
Yeah.
You can sip
Point
the
is
second one.
efficiency.
Yeah. So it's pretty much half butterscotch schnapps and half Baileys, which I drink all the time. And so I didn't have to even buy any alcohol for this month. It was just all there.
Do you want to clarify all
Hey.
the time?
Yeah.
Oh, every night before bed.
Helps me go to sleep.
Helps me go
Especially when my
sleep.
joints are
Sleep.
aching.
No, I mean, this is what I order when I go out. And I don't go out. When I say when I go out twice a year. So, and we have
So
it.
actually,
We do
you're
have it
drinking
on
it very
Christmas,
infrequently.
Family tradition. We have it at like 10 a.m. on Christmas, and they're like ready for the day.
Love it.
Oh,
rightly
that's
so.
smart. You need
Yeah.
But right, so we
Yeah.
we usually have
Oh.
a cocktail. This time we have a shot. You could
Yes.
turn it into cocktail if you want. And then our mocktail was a milkshake, but again, it's freezing cold.
Oh, there she goes.
There she goes, and it's gone.
The other cocktail you could do is literally just pouring the shot into your milkshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then our snack was s'mores, and I believe Peyton had made some s'mores.
Yes.
Yes.
They look
Well,
like
that's
baked potatoes.
I was about to
They
say.
do.
Or
They're all
do
alcohol
I?
wrapped in those.
Or
Could you
does she
prove
have-
s'more existence
Yeah.
to us, please, Peyton?
Oh, oh, mine didn't melt very well. Oh no, they did actually. S'mores.
s'more.
For those on
They smell
audio,
so
Peyton
good.
is holding up a beautiful looking s'more.
Actually, that does look
Yeah.
beautiful.
Fantastic.
You can kind of see it dripping.
We
so much
actually ate these. Millie made these, and we ate them around Amy's fireplace while watching a film that we'll talk about later. But they were really good and very, very cowboy vibes. I just have marshmallows today. I'm eating only the marshmallow part of the s'more, but
That's
I
the thing. You can't. It's chocolate and marshmallow and biscuit. You can't.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah.
I did not trust myself to have s'mores around my laptop.
Yes,
fair.
I did think
fair.
about the melty chocolate and the fact that when we were eating them at Amy's house, we just all had chocolate all over us.
I was
Yeah.
just
Like
gonna
that's probably not
say,
great for recording.
every now and then I have a flashback to eating it and thinking I was doing such a good job of keeping my face clean. And then I was talking to Abby and Harry was like, your face.
I I felt so bad because I was talking to you like I hadn't seen it. And Harry turns around and it took him 1 second to be like, your face!
Oh,
Covered in chocolate.
And I thought maybe there's like a little bit in the corners of my mouth or something. And I got up my phone camera to look, and it was like a full-on spot all over my chin. It was everywhere.
I
Anyway.
also enjoyed a s'more, and then Abby said, "Are you sure you want to eat that?" To which I took a nibble of the s'more and then returned it to its place because I did not like the s'more.
Oh,
Because I'm
the second or third snack you haven't liked of the month.
no, oh, that's a I'm
You
being
didn't like the
accosted here.
cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, well, that's a cucumber sandwich, really. I don't have to defend.
Arguably my favorite snack that we did.
And you know what? To be fair, Junebug didn't like the cucumber sandwiches. So
Yes.
you know what? That's totally fair. Totally fair.
I have to rate the chili cookies #1 still.
Oh,
Oh,
They were
were
really good. I've
They were very
remade them
good.
several
I've made
times
them like
since
3 or
then.
4 times now, yeah.
I just want to shout out to those of us who have joined us and posting in the chat. Thanks, Sophie, for agreeing with me about keeping food away from my laptop. It's mostly because I'm super untrustworthy and will definitely my laptop would become one with the s'more, and I don't know that I could save it from that. It's barely clinging onto life as it is. Rowan
Totally
suggested we wear cowboy hats with beanies underneath, which is really
Oh.
cute.
That's true. Yeah. Why not?
They should be
and the- and-
in them, like winter winter
Mm.
And
cowboy.
Sophie has
Winter
suggested
cowboy
that
hat.
Amy's next book be Shrek meets the McBrides.
Oh, without
in
a
the
doubt.
swamp.
yes.
I think
Yeah, did
Shrek
they
as a
go to
backwoodsman is
Shrek or
an
to
incredible
Shrek?
read of that film.
What's this donkey doing up here?
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Peyton, for that incredible read. Shrek is a backwoodsman. Gonna be thinking about that.
I'm a performer. What can I say?
Can we make Shrek a Western? Is Shrek already a Western? Questions for
mean-
another time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about Amy's book.
Yeah, should we talk
Yes.
about the book?
Can we talk about the
should.
book?
We
Beau
should.
McBride.
So what do we all think?
Oh,
I loved it.
again for audio, Justina just made a face that implied that perhaps she was gonna say something mean, but of course she didn't.
I'll just be writing down a couple names. And she's back in August.
I loved this book. I've read the McBrides religiously as Amy has published them, and I actually think that Beau's book is my favorite.
Agreed.
Yep.
I binge read them all this month,
Yeah,
which is an
also.
incredible way to spend
In fact, I binge read
your
them
time.
this week.
Damn, Millie.
But
we're honest here.
I will say every single one I was reading was my favorite one when I was reading it. And then I read the next one. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite one. And then I was like, oh no, this is my. And I assume, I really do think that's just going to continue.
Oh, without a
I have
doubt.
to say, I know I say it a lot, especially this month, but it's just because it's true. You know, it's not a genre that I usually read. I can name the list of westerns that I've read on one hand, but I just enjoyed these books so much. Like the whole time I was reading them, even though they're totally out of my scope of what I would usually be reading, I enjoyed every single one so thoroughly. And like you said, when I was reading each one, I was like, this one is so good. This one is so good. No, this one is so good.
Yes.
I have to say, I still think that maybe Morgan's is my favorite. I really like Pip. She's probably my favorite of the heroines. But I loved Ellie in this. She was so fun, and the way she's so crazy, like the way her imagination keeps going off crazy. I was like, this is so relatable. She just has anxiety and a really good imagination.
Yeah. She's a lateral thinker.
Yes, definitely.
For those of you who might be joining us from outside of Australia, the books doesn't come out until early next year, was it?
Yes.
So we're going to try as best we can to avoid spoilers, but yeah, obviously we'll be talking about the characters and the premises and things like that, but we'll try to avoid anything that might, spoil the book for you.
The ending, we'll try not to talk about the ending or how certain parts of the book happen.
But I will say,
talk about the book.
I loved Ellie because you guys talked a bit about this in your interview with Amy. I love that she was such an unexpected choice for Beau, but also so actually so perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's very funny that Junebug is so certain that he needs someone sensible, someone practical and sensible to reel him in. When I'm like, wow, actually, it's incredible for him to have someone who is much more dramatic and insensible than he is, so that he has to be the practical one.
That's true.
exactly. Yeah.
I feel
He
like,
has to be the constant.
yeah, I felt like my idea of who Beau was going to be was based on who my idea of who Beau was as a person. And then when you get into his perspective after having read about him from the previous two books, you're like, oh, he's not, for me, he didn't quite fit the idea of him that I had built up.
I
In
agree.
a good way, right? Because he talks about that in his own point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I am victim of that. I have seen him as
And
the
it
playboy.
really wouldn't have made sense for him to be what you expect. Because when you're reading it, you're like, oh, of course he's never like seen a woman before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting because it's like, yeah, people have made so much assumptions about him from like his outward appearance, I suppose, and including us, the reader.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, I think also like the one I found most interesting was including Junebug, because I feel like Junebug absolutely read Kit and Morgan to filth in her
Oh, yes.
letters, her ads. But she clearly, like, as soon as you start to see the letters that Beau is writing, you realize, oh, she does not have a handle on what he actually needs out of a relationship and where he's actually at.
I stopped trusting her so much, I think. I think I was trusting her too much, and now I'm like, no. You're now I see you're a little bit spiteful in a way that I can respect. But
I love that she's so obsessed with her fishing rod.
Yeah.
And he barely remembers it.
Yeah, Amy, whenever Amy talks about it, Amy always mentions that Junebug feels very strongly about the fishing rod.
Every now and then when I'm reading about it through her point of view, I'm like, oh God, I think I've forgotten what happened with the fishing rod. And then I'll remember and I'll be like, it's the most innocuous thing that happened, Junebug. Get over it.
So realistic though for like a sibling grudge.
Yeah, and Beau's such a well-written middle child as well. In a big family, because he's gone largely unnoticed to the point that not everybody really actually knows what Beau wants or really what Beau does.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting in some ways. Beau is the oldest of Junebug's like siblings who are a sibling to her rather than a parental figure.
He's like the oldest of the babies.
Yeah. Even though he's a middle child, she like Morgan and Kit, I feel like so sit in this like parental role for her that it's interesting to see that like, yeah, maybe you can read your parents are filth and see all their flaws, but sometimes your view of your siblings is colored by your own history with them losing your fishing rod.
Well, I waited I remember when Kit came out and I read Kit for the first time, and the first character that I properly attached myself to was Beau. Because I was like, oh my God, he just sounds like so beautiful.
Yeah, you were like the hottest character. That one.
I was like, hottest character, that's the one that I want. Like, yeah, nearly took it when Kit was in the smithy at the end. Nearly took the cake there. But like, I was so infatuated with the idea of Beau's character. So this book, I was like, now we're here. Finally, I get Beau's perspective. And to find him such like a soft, masculine character, and a really like that's carrying actually a lot of trauma that I feel wasn't as apparent in Morgan and Kit's books. I was like, oh, this is definitely my favorite book. But then again, you're right. Every time I read them, I think that they're my favorites. But I think I was so attached to Beau, and it lived up to every expectation and more.
That's so lovely to hear.
Which character are we most looking forward to? Like, of the ones who are left to get their book?
I feel like surely we're all excited. Oh, no, okay. I was like, everyone wants Junebug's book.
Oh, yeah.
That's
true. So
I
this is something I was thinking about, again, having just finished Beau today. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, we can't talk about this without spoiling some stuff that's later in the book about some characters. But having read the reveal about Jonah, there were some hopes that I had for Junebug's book that I feel like kind of probably won't play out now.
Agreed. I feel like that
I see where you're going.
Yeah. Again,
I agree.
I would be less vague about it, but I do want people to experience that in real time as they're reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really, from the second I picked up the first book, I was like, Junebug. I
Yeah.
Where
see
this is
you. I
going.
see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and we've been tricked before with Beau, so like we won't
You
know
know?
what to expect probably, and
And
then
that's
we'll
the
be
thing.
reading it
But
and
that's
we'll
what's
go,
most
it's
exciting
perfect.
is like, well, I thought I knew what I was going into reading Beau, but I didn't. So
in the best
you
way.
can just be excited.
Yeah.
You can just be excited for
How do
whatever.
you think?
I trust Amy. You
Yeah,
know?
that I was
Yes,
about to say
yeah.
that she mentioned that in the interview as well, that like as you go in on the series, people start to have more and more expectations of what they think the characters' stories will
Yeah.
be. And I'm like, yeah, I also just trust Amy to tell me a good story, and
Exactly.
I trust her to tell me a good story that I don't expect, because like, you know, you think you've already done everything you can do with like a mail order bride premise. And then Junebug is like, hang on a hot second.
Well, hold on now.
What
You're like,
if
surely she can't do it a second time.
she said, what if this
Surely
was
she
The
can't do it a
Bachelor?
third time.
I think
No. She didn't do it a third time. She did it, what, 6 times?
True.
In one book.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Sheer
I-
numbers.
I think I'm really excited for Charlie's just because he's missing.
Serious.
We don't know
Yes.
anything. We know so
Yeah,
little
there's
about
no
her.
expectation, right? Because we actually, it's the character we know the least about. I feel like I know the family well.
Yeah.
I really loved finding like in each, as you read each book, you see more and more of the traumas that this family has gone through. Because like you see that hinted at throughout the books. But then yeah, I feel like with every one you start to get more and more context for actually that their family's been through quite a lot of pretty horrendous like grief and loss.
Yeah,
It
that's why it was so
really-
interesting that she starts with Kit and then goes back up to Morgan, because with Kit you're seeing all the things that a second youngest, especially second youngest son would see and notice and know about. And you're like, wow, all these things about the family. And then you get to Morgan and then he's talking about like when he talks about how their pa treated their mother and stuff. And you're like, of course that makes sense. But also it's not something that's mentioned in Kit's book really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
of course,
because
Morgan
he's
would be
the
the
second
one
youngest.
to experience it and to be more aware of it.
Mm.
So little bits getting, and then with Beau, you're getting a totally different perspective because he's younger, but again, not as young as Junebug. And
the other interesting family dynamic we get in Beau's book is the fact that Morgan is on honeymoon with Pip, and so Kit is now, the boss
he's the
bride,
dad.
and it's like he was like, oh no,
Oh no.
what is this? How is this happening? And I love that. Like, I love the way that Morgan is almost kind of like a threat. There's like a little bit of like, oh my gosh, we just have to sort this out before
Before he
Before
gets
Morgan
back.
gets back, yeah.
Nobody tell
even
Morgan.
Kit, who is like stepping in to be the responsible one, is like, oh my god. You can sense a bit of like, oh, he's like, shit, I'm gonna get in trouble.
This is all the fleshing, right? This is all the beautiful fleshed out work that Amy's done for the book. And this sounds like, I know we were talking about this in the interview as well.
Brown
It sounds
nosing.
like brown nosing. Our noses are places they shouldn't be. But like
I only just realized what brown nosing means.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, I'm dumb. I had no idea.
That's exactly what that means. Putting it up above.
Okay, it makes sense now.
Narcissus.
They're so fleshed out that, how many siblings have we got in total in this? We've got 6, haven't we? We've got 6 McBrides. And this is only book 3, and we've got all of these relationships that from different perspectives are so real. The traumas, the relationship styles, who they get paired with, how they approach certain situations. Like, I know that this all seems like, oh, what a great book, and this is what it should be, but it's so, I don't think there's enough appreciation for how hard that is. And I think we can all agree that takes such time and skill to put it effectively into a third book in a series.
I can't remember who said this, but it was the first time I really thought about siblings and the fact that no matter how many siblings you have, no 2 siblings are having the same childhood, even if they're being raised together. Like, you are all having a different upbringing because you're all different people. You're all having different experiences, and I don't know, your personhood is different. Your view on the world is different.
Mm.
and she nails that so well. She makes them all very individual, but then they make so much sense as a family.
Mm.
Yeah. That was
I
something I wanted to say was that, again, not my genre, but the reason that the books kept me so invested was because Amy, and I think this is true of all her books, like she's great at setting and the plot's always interesting, but the thing that Amy really, really excels at is characters. Like
Yeah.
she just absolutely nails characters and characters' motivations. I always find I'm so impressed. Like each little character has a motivation and a reason and a personality, no matter how little they are. Like all the women in this book, I was so impressed by. I never forgot which one was which
Yeah.
because they
Mm,
all had
Agreed.
their little thing,
mm.
and I could remember who each one was, and like I had an opinion about each one, and you like or don't like, whoever.
Yeah.
Always so impressed by Amy's ability to do character.
and
I've
it's
Yes.
always found that dialogue just does like it's just everything in an Amy
Mm,
Barrie novel in particular.
mm.
Like the dialogue from the first to the third is just it's you just breeze through it because it has absolutely everything that you need, which is again something that she just excels at as an author. Like it's so
and
hard to do it without it seeming so clunky. Because I'm sure
and
we've
also
all read our work here and gone like, Jesus Christ, this is a bit shit. But
Yeah, oh,
like
people don't talk like that.
yeah, yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? But they all have like a cadence almost to their voice, and
Mm.
it's fucking words on a page. Like I just don't understand how she does it so well. But this book, I think we all agree that it's chef's kiss.
What were you going to say, Justina? Sorry.
I was just going to say on that note of dialogue, I love that you can, because we actually get a willing brother this time. You get to see what his correspondence is like and
Mm,
like how he writes. And I
Yeah.
was really fascinated by the difference between how he writes and then how he talks
mm,
and like the block that because in actually in an earlier episode this month, Amy talked about how part of the appeal of the hero in a Western is this picture of like an inarticulate vulnerability. Like
mm.
he has all these emotions and
Mm.
doesn't quite know how to voice them. And I found it interesting because he's so eloquent in his letters. And then
Mm.
in person, he really struggled to like communicate his actual feelings.
Yeah.
And I was just
And
like, that's
Yeah.
such a I don't know. That's just so interesting, that
you
difference,
can,
and like
yeah.
the fact that these books are so so much a love letter to like reading and also
Mm.
writing and to letters. A love letter
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
love letters.
Mm.
You can fall in love with him so quickly because with the epistolary elements, you get so much vulnerability from him straight
Mm.
out of the gate. It's so
I
Mm.
mean,
good.
I fell in love with him from a simple wood walk in Giving Christ. Um,
Harry, I love you. You're simple in that way.
I am. I am. It takes a flashing good smile and some good looks, and I'm yours.
That's another thing I really like about these books and the way they're set out and the way they're paced is that, and it really surprised me with Kit's book originally, was that so much of the book they haven't met. Like there is so
Yeah.
much build up to their actual
Mm.
meeting where you're learning so much about the hero and so much about the heroine, so that you really know the characters before they've met, so that when they do meet, you're like, yes, you
Yeah.
Mm.
are perfect for each other. I know because I've been following them for half a book.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you know what's funny though, in thinking on that, Millie, how each of these books are very different kinds of romance.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
Speak on that.
yeah, yeah, well, yeah. Uh, I shall ruminate. No. We'll pause. Anybody else got anything to say?
Well, they've got different
Um,
main characters, you see. And
that's the
Ah.
one. No, but
Hmm.
you've got this connection between like I mean this is a spoiler, but it's also from the very first part of the book. And it's in the blurb, I think. If anybody could understand the blurb, it was in
Huh?
it.
Whoa.
Just throwing that out there.
Excuse me.
wow.
It's like you've got the relationship between Diana and Beau in the
Hmm.
letters and in their correspondence at the start. So you know that there's a relationship that's being built there, but then you also know what's going on behind the scenes kind of already because it's very
Hmm.
heavily suggested. So before, I don't know what it is, it's chapter 4 or 5, I want to say, which is pretty early on in the book. in comparison to Kit and Maddie, and in comparison to Pip and Morgan, and the changing of their feelings. One, I know it's a
Yeah.
different setting, so obviously the narrative follows a different style, and there's a different way to bring them together. But if we talk pacing from book one to book three, they are very, very different in terms of at what portion typical romance elements happen at.
Yeah, because I think the first book is such a slow burn because they're apart, like you said, for so much of the story, but we get to see their vulnerability. And then when they get together, it's like them finding that together as a couple, becoming vulnerable with each other. And then same with Pip and Morgan. It's been a while since I read that one actually, but they're so fiery and so different that there's a lot of attraction right from the beginning. And then the emotional vulnerability builds slowly as well. And then in this third book, they're kind of unknowingly talking to each other. And they've already established a very strong connection with each other from the very start, whether they realize it or not. And then
Well, that's one thing that I feel like all the books play with really cleverly and really effectively is that the reader having all of this information that the characters don't, but it doesn't feel
yes.
frustrating. I feel like in the way that sometimes like a miscommunication trope can be really
Yeah, I
frustrating.
agree.
Yes.
You're just
Yes.
excited. Like at least I found I was like really excited to see. I'm like, oh my gosh! But when they find out this thing, you're like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
It's just
I
you,
I
mate.
hate the miscommunication trope so much. It frustrates me to no end. So I was a little worried, especially with
Mm,
especially with the Bow book.
yeah.
But having read the previous two in the last couple of days, I was like, no, no, no. I trust Amy. It's totally fine. And it is because you're right. It's not frustrating in that way.
Yeah.
She just manages to do it in a way that you're exciting and you're waiting to see how it unfolds. Like,
Yeah.
how are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then also that like you get which I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll talk very vaguely, but you get the stakes risen to another level in this book as well in comparison to the other two with how
I would
things
agree, but
fall
I don't.
apart.
I know what you mean by you not wanting to spoil things. So I
Yeah.
feel
I'm like I'm
Yeah.
like
Yes,
I
I know
could
what you
push
mean.
further. Yeah,
Yes.
do you know what I mean? Like the stakes
Yeah.
Very
like
cryptic, so you should go read the novel.
yes, exactly. Um yeah,
But
like the
it's true
stakes
in a way
go.
that it isn't in the first two
It
books,
isn't. And
definitely.
you really do think, oh shit, like hang on a second, is this going to turn into like this could very easily have been like, and then that's the end. Stay
Nah,
tuned for
it's a
book four.
romance.
And I would have been like,
has to
oh,
resolve.
what do
Has to
you
resolve.
mean?
I mean,
What?
Yeah, like gasp.
I know what I
Because that did
love.
shock me. I was like, wow, shit, this has really gone up a lot here. And I actually can't think of how this is going to change. However, I mean, we can spoil the first book because it was 2022. But, you know, like, I remember in the first book thinking, like, just walk across the snow. Just walk across, Maddie, and then just get it sorted. And then she does it. And you're like, well, that's the logical thing to do. Like, this makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
But in this book here, you really are like, hang on a second. I don't know how this is going to come to fruition. And this makes total freaking sense because I would have done the exact same fucking thing if I was in that situation.
This is
I've-
kind of a segue, but something I particularly like about this book, a little bit that I think this book does that the other two don't, is that because there aren't that many women in the town that they live in. The first two books, the main women are Junebug and the bride that's brought in. What I love about this one is there are so many women, and so you get to see sort of how Amy as an author approaches the relationships between women. And the
Abby,
relationships,
I was just about to bring this up.
yeah, the
Amazing.
relationships between women in this one are so nice. Especially because they're supposed to be women in competition, which is in the blurb.
It's a bachelor style situation.
Yeah, a little
like
bit. We
bachelor
can
style.
be honest about that. That's pretty obvious in the blurb.
Yeah, but Amy talks about it in the interview that we had, how that's not true often for groups of women. When groups of women come together, they form friendships. And I just really love that in this book. I found the way that Amy writes women and relationships between women was really refreshing.
Yeah.
I think
'Cause
on
Yeah, I love that there was
wanna find
no
community with each other.
cattiness between
Yeah.
them, and they were all so supportive, and especially, and again, not a spoiler, it's in the blurb, but the main relationship between Ellie and Diana.
I was about to say,
And I just loved it that she so easily could have written it going a different way in lots of the different spots, but it never does.
And
Their
that
friendship is
sounds
so solid and so strong.
a lot of the historical westerns that I've read do the opposite of what Amy has done.
Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why I haven't read more than I have. It's because I kept finding these books, trying to go after the Amy Barry or Tesla Sue experience. And then there would just be like all this weird moralizing about women's physical appearances and them just having to be enemies. And there's so much competing over the same guy. It's like, it's so old and it doesn't make sense because they're in these very isolated, harsh environments. You would depend on other women so much for your safety and your well-being. It's
Definitely.
I was
don't
going to
wanna say
say
that
that I
sounds
was also
easy.
worried. I was worried that Diana and Ellie's, because you don't get Diana's interiority. It's like, Beau and Ellie's perspectives. And I was really worried about where that relationship was, because Diana's a fairly reserved character. And then I was very heartened that they do really genuinely love each other. And I'm like, yeah, it's just really refreshing to read that because you're so set up by the kinds of narratives we're faced with to see things going poorly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could have easily been where Amy reached for to create the drama in the
Yeah.
novel.
Yeah.
And that's not what happens.
I was going to say, it seems easy. It seems like that would be the easy path because you're like, I've got all these people here. I've set up the context of their arrival. It's so easy just to put like a little fire under that melting pot and just let it all go bang. But no,
I
like,
do want to
and you're
say,
right because it wouldn't have fit the book. It would have
Yeah.
changed the book entirely.
I also want to say that when you brought up like physical appearance, Peyton, that made me think of all of the books and how I love that all of the heroines, like even when they're like, oh, look, I know I'm not the most beautiful girl, but they never actually think they're bad looking or they never have anything actually bad to say about their own appearance. They're like, especially I love that Pip, even though she has in Morgan McBride, even though she has all this trauma from all the rejection she's received, she's like, I don't know, like I reckon I'm pretty hot.
Yeah.
And I was like,
At least she's like,
that.
I can't be that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
And like
I just wanted to
Ellie's
share.
self-perception is colored by how much she like just loves Diana. And she was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not as pretty as Diana. But she's like, I really
But
just
no
don't
one
think I'm
compares
bad.
to Diana, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I just want to share from the comments. Rowan says Amy's really good at subverting every old Western romance trope. I
Agreed.
love how she approaches and interrogates the hyper masculinity of these settings.
Yeah.
Which is like you're hitting the nail right on the head, Rowan, because Amy loves that shit. She loves interrogating masculinity and hyper masculinity, which she's always talking about. So
This might come across as a critique, which is fine. Amy knows I love the novel. The only
We'll actually listen to this bit.
I'm sorry, Abby, you're breaking up.
Amy, cover your ears.
Do you just want to leave maybe and then reconnect or?
The only thing that I talking about appearances, the only thing that occasionally bothered me when reading this novel, as much as I adore it, is how often her appearance and her dresses are kind of brought up
Critique.
as a negative thing, and how it was like you just need to get into nicer clothes and wear nicer things, which I know has no negative kind of intention behind it, but I was like, but just does she have to?
Yeah,
Does
true.
she have
to?
to? Just let her wear a brown dress.
Yeah, we don't all
is
have to
that-
be fashionistas.
I
But
think
please,
that
Justina, prove me, say otherwise.
I was about to say, in this specific instance, I think that is part of Ellie's journey to prioritizing herself. It's more that she doesn't put any care into her own things or the things that are just for her because she puts all of it into other people. And she's selfless to a quite a genuine fault. And that is part of her journey is that. Though I do understand what you mean of like you shouldn't have to dress, in the nicer dresses. But I think it's just an illustration of the other ways that she subjugates her own desires for those of others.
You're right though, and it's like that is her flaw, right? To a fault is the correct phrase.
Yeah.
Because again, no spoilers, but the black moment where she does her absolutely crazy move, I had to laugh out loud because I was like, girl, this is so crazy that you think this is the selfless thing to like. This is the craziest thing you've done in this book. This is so funny. Of course you did this. Of
Yeah.
course.
And
I feel
actually,
like
that's another great point. Is I love that. I don't know. Even the black moments can be kind of funny in a way.
yeah.
I actually think
It's
that's
true.
especially true with Ellie because Ellie is so. Her interiority is so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean this in a
Heightened. It's
extremely loving way.
heightened.
Yeah.
In the interview when you mentioned 𝖓𝐻𝐻 Abbey, that's what I was thinking reading Ellie. I was like, yeah,
Oh, that's
𝖓𝐻𝐻
such a
Abbey.
Someone got
good
it.
yes.
The
Yes,
whole like
definitely.
this is why I did what I did. Like toward the end is so like
Yeah.
you know, like
And like
Beau's
her
like,
spiral
okay.
through the
Yeah, if you just, I don't know, listened, then everything would have been fine.
I
You
think
just ask
Amy mentions
someone.
this in the interview, but I love how, first of all, I love how Ellie gets into these moments where she's creating a scenario in her head and then begins to believe that that is what is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's such a bizarre scenario. You're like, where is this line of thought coming
Slow
from?
down.
And I love the moments where Beau is kind of like, let's reel it back in.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
you've disappeared again.
Yeah.
Come back.
I actually really love that their dynamic because there are moments when he reels her back in and then moments where he like plays in the space with her.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that playfulness. Those interactions are just I really adore those.
He doesn't just like outright shit on her imagination, which I
No.
feel like honestly a lot of men probably do
He's like
when they
so
hate
charmed
their
by her.
wives.
Yeah.
he
But
finds
it sounds like
staring
he
into
also
space
needed
cool.
that a little bit. Like it sounds
Yeah.
like he needed that playfulness.
I feel like all the McBrides have this sort of inherent loneliness and they all deal with it in a different way. And I
Yeah.
think like Morgan, for example, and I actually think Kit as well a bit, feel like they have to it's a sacrifice they have to make for their family. Whereas Beau craves connection in a way and is in some ways, I guess, more vulnerable in just allowing that to be visible, that he craves this connection.
Yeah, because he's
And
kind
to
of
be
like
understood.
in comparison, in contrast to the other brothers, he's kind of somebody that doesn't have the same level of expectation, but still believes that he does. Has a whole nother side to his childhood that the others have kind of brushed to the side because they've experienced more, I don't know, more recent or what they would consider more profound trauma, like Morgan's
Yeah.
in particular. But he's kind of got he's not one note. There's not one thing that he's holding on to really. It's just a bunch of things that have just cascaded into him being publicly like caged as just really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So
And even
he's
the fact that
just
his is the first book
lockbox.
where one of the brothers is actively seeking or okay with getting a wife is very telling
Yeah.
too of his character, I think. Like you said, he's seeking the connection rather than Morgan and Kit, who are like, I can't, I don't
I
have time
mustn't.
for a wife, I
Yeah.
mustn't, the family.
But then
It's
he
almost
dances
like-
But what if I
and he
did?
sings and he does these like quiet things.
I wanted
Yeah, he
to.
dances out in the
everybody's-
woods.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
like-
wanted to get into the masculinity of it, which we talked about
The
in the
masculinity of it all.
Masculinity of it all. But particularly like pertaining to Rowan's comment, how Amy approaches masculinity in a space that's notorious for harsh masculinity. I feel like Beau is a great example of that because he is kind of visually that kind of masculinity. Not as broad and big as his
No, but he's a
brothers.
fuckboy, right? That's what we've
Well,
been
he's
told.
not, but
No,
Well,
but that's what it
vision-wise.
is. Yeah, physically we've been told that's him.
Yeah, but all of the activities that he does in this book, like he spends his time singing and dancing
Writing
with
love letters.
Junebug. Yeah, writing love
Yeah,
letters,
he's a
dancing with Junebug
romantic.
out in the meadow. He's a romantic. And I felt like those activities were kind of defining moments for his masculinity in particular.
Yeah,
It kind
agreed.
of makes sense because I was thinking before as we were talking about the different experiences and the levels of trauma and things like that. I was thinking about how, in a way, all of his family is kind of paired off, even before they have wives. Like
Yeah.
they're already kind of in these duos. And then maybe Junebug is the only one on the out, but she's so independent that like they probably wouldn't mesh
And she has
completely.
the trading post and the people at the
Yeah.
But
trade.
also, I feel like
yeah.
she's even so she's still paired with Morgan, right? Because Morgan's
Yeah,
like her
that's true.
dad.
Yes. And then Beau, like, there's almost, even though that kind of isolation and loneliness isn't good, it's maybe because of that freedom that they're all able to explore all these different hobbies and interests and things, because who are they going to compare themselves to, or who are they going to impress when they're family and they love each other
Yeah. I
no
do
matter
feel like
what?
you get a similar, actually weirdly, a similar loneliness in Beau that there is in Junebug, that you see more of in Junebug in the first book, when part of it is, yes, she doesn't want to do housework anymore, but also she's sort of craving a companionship that she can't get from her brothers.
Yeah.
And I think the same is true for Beau, because he
Agreed.
is different to them. There's a way in which they can relate to each other that they can't relate to him in the same way. And it puts him on the outside, and he feels, not like he's not understood, which
Yeah.
I
This is
think
making
is
me
that.
sad for him. I need to like read it
It
now.
did make me
Read it
feel sad
again.
though. The trauma in this book and the character motivation behind him was I genuinely found very upsetting in this book in particular, because I think it's kind of it's the closest for somebody of my age, of our age, where you can imagine what that would be like in that setting, surrounded by those people with not really a role, but then kind of a role, and you're trying to forge your own path. Because he's cut between wanting to be with like a Junebug-esque style of living, and then also wanting to be the next Kit and Morgan, because Morgan's off on honeymoon now, and now Kit's in charge, and he's kind of next in line for all that because Charlie's fucked off, and nobody really knows what the hell Jonah's doing. But like,
I also love, there's actually a
yeah.
moment when like Jonah comes back from prospecting, and
No spoilers here.
and there's like you're in Beau's POV, and he's a bit like, God damn it, because it's like, even Jonah, now that he's like older, is like a huge mountain man, and I was like,
Yeah, and also like he's got his thing, right? Like he's got a thing. Like, what is my thing? You know, I'm pretty.
All
Great.
of
What
these
can you do with that?
books, even
But
though
also
they all
there's
start off and they each of them start and end at completely different places, but they all grow up. Like a lot of these books are all about growing up, growing into the next part of your life, shedding old expectations you had of yourself, shedding other people's perceptions of you, figuring out who you are with someone who you can connect with. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's what it's all
I
about.
mean, and this is why the
Thanks for the TED talk,
characterization is
mate.
so expert as well, because they all have like they're all paired with someone who will like challenge something about them, whether that is again, I love Pip as well in Morgan McBride, and I love the way that her stubbornness reaches out, like meets Morgan's stubbornness
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't out stubborn me. In which I really loved.
A battle of the wills
Yeah,
every day.
But then
Yeah.
both marriages, both Kit and Maddie and Pip and Morgan in Beau's book, their marriages are so beautiful. Like it's just those tiny little threads that get pulled from one to the other that make you feel all warm by the time it's done, because you just know that if there is going to be a book four, and let's be honest, there fucking better be, then you just know that it's going to be the same feeling. You know, like with three book, I keep thinking this because I can't wait for the audiobook. I've got the audiobook down pat, and I cannot wait because I've heard it's amazing. And I'm like, I'm going to
very
audiobook Beau Mcbride next, so that I can listen to it and then I can read it. And I just think, with three books into a romance trilogy, and I'm like, come on, how the fuck is it so good still?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the that's sort of part of the beauty of romance, right? That you can
Yeah.
get into those like emotional places and that loneliness, and then there is the comfort of that, you know, that it will work out.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you're in safe hands. And one of the things I was thinking about is like how money functions in this book specifically, because the brothers do bring it up where they're like, wait a second, Junebug, how the fuck did you afford all this?
Yeah.
And I love that, like, this isn't a spoiler because it happens in Morgan McBride, that she like won it all gambling, and it's so like, it's a secret. She's like, don't tell them because they'll be mad at me. But at the same time, it's like, I love that the whole universe seems to bend to Junebug's will in a way that is like problematic because I feel like it's going to lead to a god complex.
Yeah, God is a
me too.
Junebug.
Yeah, but also like Amy said in the interview, there's no naivety from Junebug. Like she's old enough to understand that what comes across as naivete is not at all. She is well aware of what she's doing and the danger that she's in because she's strong and independent.
And the beauty of the romance novel is that it's like, don't worry about the money. It's okay.
Yeah.
There'll be
Don't worry about it.
Junebug can afford it. It's fine.
I wasn't even questioning the money at all myself. When it was brought up, I was like, okay, good to know. But like
she got the money from
sold
gambling,
on the fact that they were all there.
Yeah, there's a couple things at the end that now that you mentioned money, I'm like, hang on a second, how does that work? But I don't fucking care.
Just thought she was like pinching pennies, like other people's pennies.
Can I ask a question though?
Pinching.
Actually pinching them.
We've got I will bring up before we go further. It's 7:50. So
oh my god.
It went this is the quickest it's ever
got
gone.
10 minutes
There's 10 minutes.
what?
So if we want to get any final thoughts out, and then we'll do the giveaway winner and
I do have one
without
after
Amy.
Harry's question.
cool.
I wondered because I think that they're pretty well balanced, and I know which one that I preferred and what my answer is. But do you think that we can all agree that Kit was a relatively it was a bit of a soft romance? There wasn't much spice in it. Would you rate Morgan or Beau as spicier for people that are going to
that's hard.
Oh, Beau.
I would rate Morgan as spicy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
Morgan.
see, I thought this would be 50-50.
Yeah, I feel like the train scene at the end of Morgan as well, and
It's
then
pretty
when
fucking
they're
spicy.
And the river scene.
And the creek.
yeah, I feel like there are way more moments that are spicy.
And they, as people, are very spicy. So in my head, I'm kind of conflating the two a bit.
Nelly,
See,
you
in
seem
this
to
one,
be
it's like
disagreeing.
I think
No,
Beau.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I'm thinking, yes, maybe.
we need
I guess
to
maybe
go
just because
through,
it's the freshest in my mind, maybe.
Yeah.
count the
fair.
scenes, how many
But yes,
pages.
now that I think about like the train scene and stuff, I guess that is,
I
vibe.
think Morgan was spicy,
spicier.
but I agree with Peyton. I think that they were spicier characters.
Yes.
But I do think that Beau was just as spicy. It just never felt as spicy because they were more bantery.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's
okay,
true.
I
Very
feel like
bantery.
Beau is definitely spicy, and I do think they in some ways they are spicier not spicier, but they are also spicy characters in a way. But I feel like it's I don't know how to put it into words, but it's
To me, it feels like you don't expect it. And then when it's happening, it feels so right for them. But it's also like, oh, you two. Oh.
I actually also think some of it is like when you're in Ellie's point of view, she spends so much time trying to like crush down her own desires that it's really incredible when you see her unable to do that. And she's like,
Yeah.
actually, these moments are now all about my desires. And she's unabashed when she lets herself be.
Yeah.
There were scenes in Beau where I passed in and out of consciousness. So,
bathtub. No spoilers.
But I do think that they're very, again, it shows the very different writing style and the beautifully complex character work that's done across these books, because I think that they, in spice level, are pretty much on par, but they feel a different level.
Well, I think
I actually think maybe that's more what I think. I think I agree is that they're not that different, but they feel different because the characters are different.
And that's so fucking cool.
Which I think is some really it's really great writing, because I just feel like I really don't like it if you're reading a romance book and then it gets to like a sex scene and then it suddenly feels like it doesn't matter who the people in the scene are. Whereas when it's the character is embedded in every part of the book.
Yeah, there were no like enormous
inserted.
throbbing cocks that hummed like Lamborghinis and all that.
Well, that's not
shit.
very Amy anyway.
No, it's not very Amy, that's true. But also like those are the kind of things
That sounded wild, but that's from a very specific romance novel.
Okay.
No, for sure, yeah.
I thought that was from Harry. I thought that was off the dome.
No, Harry's quoting a romance book. I know the
quoting romance books.
Probably more than one. Last thought, best thought, question mark. I love the way that Junebug talks about women. I love the fact that she talks about women because obviously of the way that her brothers have talked about women and the way other men have talked to her about women. And it's probably my favorite thing about the whole series when Junebug starts talking about women. She's like,
Agreed.
wow, aren't you the prettiest thing I've ever seen? Or she starts talking about their breasts or their, no, chests, because isn't
Yeah.
that the more appropriate way to
shoulders.
describe them?
Collarbones.
Yeah,
loves
you gotta have a girl with
shoulders.
strong shoulders.
And she does say with the
And-
dress, the brown dress, I think at the very start of the thing, when she's going like, "Oh, this is awful," and then and she's like, "The dress, yeah, like it's not a vibe, but
dress
that's
doesn't
not what's
matter."
important." She's like, "That's not important. Okay, you're here
Anyway,
right now, and you fucked up my
Amy,
plan."
Please
Like
make
it's
Junebug a
cool.
lesbian. All right, let's do the giveaway.
I knew you were getting at that
Prayers,
way
prayers.
earlier. Okay,
Let's
But
do the
we do
giveaway.
trust you. But
let's
I trust
do
you with whatever you do.
yeah. Let's do the giveaway. First of all, this is our biggest giveaway yet, which doesn't surprise me because
Huge.
everybody loves Amy Barry, and that is for a reason. We all love Amy Barry, and these books are amazing. But who doesn't want 3 signed books?
3 free books.
Yes, 3 free books. So we do have a winner, which was random generated from the 67 comments that we received. Our winner is the paperback cowgirl, is the username on Instagram.
the paperback cowgirl.
Just so
What a perfect
fitting
name.
for the month, unintended. But congratulations if you are listening. If not, we will be sending a DM. So we'll send a DM to get all of the details to send these books out to you, which might take, I will say, a little bit longer than normal because I believe it's an international shipping. But it will get there.
By horse as well. That's gonna take a long
Congratulations.
By
time.
horse and by boat.
And we
And
and we have to wait for the snow to clear and like
Yeah,
In the past,
exactly.
that's right. Yep.
And then we have to get Justina suited because we promised, I think, in the giveaway that you'd be atop the horse with the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Personally
purposes
delivered.
of marriage, yeah.
So she's taking
Oh,
6 months of leave.
I see. A couple more cleanup things, or what do they call them at the end of the podcast?
Wrap ups.
Wrap
Wrap
up.
ups. Housekeeping, that's the one.
Housekeeping.
We have, because there's an extra month in July, we have a After Dark episode that will come out next week. And what we did is we got together as a group and we watched 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, which is a movie musical. So we're going to talk about that. I think it's going to be very interesting. So tune in to hear that.
Oh boy, will it?
Oh
really
boy,
excited.
lots of things to say about that.
That is the movie
so
we
different
watched
to
while
Amy's
eating
book.
s'mores.
Like, we have to say that, and we'll say that in the episode too.
It was our first group like movie session where we all sat down to watch something together.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was a choice.
It was a choice. It was a choice.
It was an
A choice we'd
experience
like
and a
to
musical
blame.
too. The fact
Yeah.
that we
Yeah,
started
my
with our
first-
musical and this particular musical, wild.
Can we
I
lay
have
blame?
video.
Are we allowed to lay
No.
blame as to who picked this?
Oh, yeah, I
Who
reckon
forced us
so.
through this? Yeah. I
This
think
was
so.
assigned viewing.
Some
This
of
was
us
a
contributed. A few of us contributed ideas and decided on the movie.
But
So
I feel
you
like-
know,
Oh,
pipe down.
I thought
Blame isn't the word I would use. I
No.
think, but it's going to be a great episode. So tune
It'll be
in
good
next
to
week.
Very
Very
relevant.
interesting. And the other thing we have to do is announce the book for next month.
Yeah.
So next month, August, is going to be our academic month because we have a text journal issue coming out all about romance. So that'll be really interesting. And you'll hear us talk about that a lot next month. But for our book, we are going to be reading An Academic Affair by Jodie McAllister, which I believe is out now. So you can get a copy whenever you like and start reading whenever you like. But that is what we will be talking about in our book club next month.
It's very fitting that
And we
the
had-
Dr. Heffernan has
Dated.
just done that intro, that
Yes.
outro for us.
From our doctor.
From
resident
our Dr.
doctor.
Heffernan, who is
the resident
other-
doctor.
And that'll be on the 21st of August will be the next book. Nope, 28th of August.
28.
We also have an
Calendars.
interview with Jodie herself as well. Which
Yes,
is,
talking about the book.
which is very exciting. So
Mm.
Yep.
We're
I
getting
think that's
scholarly. It's going to be
everything.
fun.
Yeah, it's going to get very academic. So
some of
those
us
are
get scholarly, some of us have other things happen, but we'll get to that.
I think we just
it's going to be another interesting month.
I think we just did a book club without Amy.
We did.
Whoa.
Amy,
We did a
well,
whole
you're
month
listening.
without
Perfectly
Amy.
smooth. Yeah.
We got to change the name to just and.
And yeah, exactly.
Stand now.
And book club.
And
Yeah.
ampersand.
July and book club.
I
I think we should, while we've got the board here.
said they loved An Academic
just
Affair,
sack her?
so that's good to know. Rowan's already read it,
Oh,
so
brilliant.
you'll
You've
be able
already
to
read
keep
it,
up.
Rowan.
It has been out
Fantastic.
for a little bit now.
It's
A little
Um,
bit, yeah.
I will say next month are we Amy et al. Instead of Amy and?
we should be.
We
Amy
should
and
do that.
Al.
Yeah. Somebody write that
Thinkers.
down
We
before we forget.
rebranded for
Oh,
this
I love
month,
being the
so
et al.
Abby, get on that.
Actually, if we were going to do it properly, it would be Matthews et al. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, true.
Oh, true.
True. Thank you, Harry.
That
Go
doesn't
on.
have as good of a ring to it.
No.
As
That
someone
will
that's been doing
confuse people too
awful
much.
citations all week, they are not correct.
All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone who joined us live, and thank you for listening, everyone who's listening afterwards. We've been the and of Amy, and thank you for coming and sticking around, even though Amy isn't here.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see
No
you
star
next
power.
time.